Can you remember your queer awakening? And if so, what was it?
I think it was with my best friend at the time, and I was around 13, 14 years old, and I didn't really know what was going on. But in hindsight, oh, awakening. I would just look at her in ways that I didn't look at anyone else. And the way she moved, the way she talked, I just couldn't stop looking at her lips. I think she had the most beautiful lips on the entire planet. But I didn't have a sexual desire linked to that. It was just this sort of admiration, but it definitely felt intimate and sensual. But maybe I didn't have enough knowledge of what I could do with that, just admiring her like that, because I think about these kind of things now and I might feel aroused even, but back then I was just like, wow. And it didn't feel strange or out of place, but I also never told her. I don't know, it didn't feel appropriate for some reason. But I think that was it. I think that was my queer awakening. Just looking at her like a fucking idiot, What was yours?
The first time I can recall that I remember being attracted to a boy, or not necessarily attracted, was in a cafe that I worked in when I was younger. And the town that I grew up in, there probably was a queer scene that I didn't really know about at the time, but it wasn't very out in the open as far as I could tell. It was a very kind of small town feel. And I worked in a cafe, and this very confident gay boy came in.
It's the confidence.
Right?
Yeah.
I was clearing tables. He came in with a couple of friends, and as I was clearing, he started flirting with me.
Well, how?
Just like asking my name, and I can't remember, it was a lot of years ago. But then his friend started talking to me. He was very kind of decadent in the way that he would sit. He just kind of lounged on the chair with his foot out.
Yeah.
His friend started talking to me. So I replied to his friend, and he's like, "Oh, hey, no, you were talking to me," and kind of nudged me with his foot.
Oh my god.
While like playing with his hair. And I got all flustered, and I knew that I was blushing, and there's nothing I could have done about it. And I think that's the first time I can remember when I was young that I got flustered by another boy.
And have you thought about that afterwards in some more sexual way, or what did you do with that feeling?
I sat with it for a few days. I can't remember, honestly. I've definitely thought about it since.
No, I can see that.
As a trans man, how has your relationship with sex or your feelings towards it changed the more you've leaned into the expression of your true identity?
It's this never ending journey, and I don't know what's going on anymore at this point. The more I lean into who I am, the less sexual I become, which is quite bizarre. And maybe I think part of it was a lot of fear of just having a certain body, having different kinds of feelings, and realizing that to you sex doesn't have anything to do with your genitals, and then actually maybe it does, and then it's a lot of confusion, as you can see. And is the perception of myself, but also the perception that the world has of me, and I feel like that's a lot of pressure. But when I shake that pressure off, not much is left underneath. So it's just like an ego death thing for me to be trans. Is this when I'm truly myself and I'm happy with how I feel in my identity, the rest of the world stops having a sexual meaning to me. And sometimes I connect with people and I do become aroused based just on that connection, you know. But it doesn't matter who I am anymore. So it's like a loop of, it's a clusterfuck. And it's just non-stop, and I quite enjoy it most of the time, but it's been harder in the past where I just maybe did things based on examples I had in the society, my parents, media. There was this expectation of me as a femme-presenting person, and now I don't owe anything to anyone, not even to myself, really. It's just this sense of, I don't know, I feel quite asexual at the moment, which is interesting, but it does come back, like my sense of arousal and whatnot, and when it does, it doesn't start in my body or how I present myself. It's not a gender affirming experience, it's nothing like that, it's just completely transcendental, and I realize that I can't have sex with people that don't have a certain degree of queerness. Not because they don't see me for who I am, but because they just have a limited perception of what sex can be. So to me...
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Completely.
But I don't know, I'm really skeptical of everything that people define as gender affirming, because I think they're really fleeting moments, and they always come from something external. Someone says something, or you wear something that makes you feel euphoric and gender affirmed. I don't know, someone uses the right pronouns, and that's all great, but that's a basic human decency, and it's just, but that could be taken away from you any moment, while who you really are doesn't go anywhere. And I know how important it is to feel affirmed in this society as a trans queer person, but I'm at the same time really skeptical of relying on that external validation, or it's, I don't know, my core is just something really internal, and then it can expand and I can share it with other people and they decide what to do with it, but I don't think I should rely on these external factors really. And I think that's a queer utopia where you don't have to think of those things. Yeah. When being gender affirmed is not even a thing anymore. We don't even use pronouns anymore, blah blah blah. Maybe one day. But I don't know, do you see what I mean?
Completely, yeah. It is an interesting dynamic to wrestle with, I think, as well, because a lot of the gender affirming external expressions are like clothes and haircuts that, you know, society tells you is what a man wears, or you know, how a man's hair is supposed to be. So yeah, it is a kind of tricky thing to...
Yeah, it's like someone else defines if you're trans enough, or and it's okay to, I think it's okay to have these little bumps of confidence, like wearing the right t-shirt or having the right haircut, binding. I want top surgery, for example. It's one of the reasons, and but I don't know, it's always a step away. Like these people who define, like the society and how the society defines transness, the same people are the people who dictate how we should have sex sometimes.
Yeah. And
I think that's really dangerous, to allow that into your intimacy, into the depths of who you are. Do you ever feel lonely?
Wow. Yeah, all the time. Not all the time. Not
I
consistently.
didn't say anything.
But yeah, pretty frequently. I think everybody does.
Why?
To a degree. Why? I mean, maybe not everybody does. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm
The lonely,
just a lonely person.
The lonely boy.
No, but I mean, I assume everybody has those moments. Yeah, at times. I think.
What do you do when you feel like that?
When I feel lonely,
Yeah.
it varies. Sometimes I'll message a friend just to have someone to talk to for a minute, and sometimes I won't. I guess it depends on the reason. I think I don't know. Again, I was going to say I think we all have those moments, but I mean, who am I to say what other people think?
But also, I'm not interested in other people.
True. Okay. Yeah, every now and then I'll have moments where I think, is everyone just being nice? Is
But like you don't deserve kindness or something?
No. But like, is this all just? I don't know. I know how it feels, but it's really hard. As I have a lot of things being in this conversation to put into words.
No. I mean, how hard? Where?
Oh, come on. You'll find out later.
Oh.
No.
You'll find out. Love it.
I think honestly though, yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of people that that live in other countries or whatever. You don't have constant contact with people, so a lot of the times you can.
But you can also feel lonely when you're surrounded by people.
That's 100% true.
Which is a bit cliche, but it's true.
It's a cliche for a reason.
I don't think I've ever felt lonely surrounded by really important, intimate friends, though.
No.
When I'm like with really, really good friends, it's really unlikely that I'm going to feel lonely.
When you're with people that you love and trust, and you have a strong connection.
And they can accept you feeling low. You don't have to pretend. I think it's when we pretend we're someone else that we feel more lonely.
Yeah. Or you're with people that you don't feel like you can be yourself with.
Yeah.
And you don't have anyone that you can really share or connect with, and yeah, absolutely.
It is that loss of connection and understanding.
Yeah, but also in terms of families and things as well. Like I don't have the strongest connection with my parents. So I think that's an aspect of it. I just feel lonely, like in the world sometimes. Like should I have a better relationship? I don't have like a terrible. They were never. Horrible people, but I just don't relate to them as much as other people do with their parents.
I don't know that many people that do well with their parents. No. But it's because I think it's my community of broken people. We become quite, I don't know, the cool people have so much trauma in the past.
Yeah.
Or just parents being, I guess, not aligned with them somehow.
Yeah, but I think you actually kind of hit the nail on the head quite well. Is you feel lonely? Well, no, sorry, you don't feel lonely when you're with people that you relate to and that you can love and trust. But there's a lot of the times in my life, as I'm sure there are in everyone's life, when you're not in those situations.
So you keep constantly coming back to this. A lot of people, or I'm sure other people, you just use as a reference all these other people.
Yeah.
People that you don't even know, not even like your friends or anything.
You ask very directly if I ever feel lonely and why.
Yeah. I'm sure other people, we know
Maybe
that.
this ties into why I also didn't have a good time, or wasn't able to receive pleasure for a long time. Maybe I'm just not comfortable focusing on myself. For whatever reason.
There we go.
Yeah.
£50.
Right?
Yeah,
I
I
had a
know.
little mini breakthrough here.
No, but it is. I think you're great.
I think you're great too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
But you know, spending time by yourself is important, and
Oh, no,
the
but also
society is
that-
teaching us just otherwise.
Yeah, I'm not always lonely when I'm by myself.
Oh yeah, sure.
I
Yeah.
very much enjoy my own company sometimes, in a non-innuendo sense.
Yeah.
I'll go to the cinema quite often by myself. Sometimes I'll just go. I'll do whatever. You know, I'm quite happy spending time and doing things
Oh,
alone.
yeah, me too, for sure.
And I don't feel lonely. I think the times that I do feel lonely is when I don't feel connected to people for whatever reason. And sometimes it can just happen when you are by yourself and something comes over and you feel isolated for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. The question, it sounds like it should be a fairly simple answer, but I think there's a lot to
No,
dive into.
nothing is simple if you're curious enough.
But yeah, short answer, yes, I do.
What was the question? Oh yeah. Yeah.